Hello and welcome back to Ray's Coffee and Cards. I've got some additional news for you guys today, but we will get into that in just a minute. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I do reside in East Tennessee. So if you are new to my channel, if you've never caught me before, welcome. If you are not new to my channel, welcome back. So in my last video, I kind of let y'all know of a offer that Stampin' Up! Has only for the month of November. And here it is, the month is almost over. If you sign up to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you will enjoy no less than a 20% discount on anything you order. And it goes from the 4th to the 30th of November. Normally, it's $125 for the starter kit. You can pick anything you want out of the annual catalog or even out of the current mini catalog to put into your starter kit. But right now, they have reduced it to $75. Guys, I have never known Stampin' Up! To reduce the amount of the starter kit by that much. And even though it's not really stated in this paper, you also get a free paper pumpkin kit with your starter kit, and that's at no cost to you. As this picture shows, you may pick embellishments or adhesives or stamp pads or cardstock, stamp sets, dies. It doesn't matter what you pick. You can pick anything you want. You don't have to go by the suggested items or anything that may come up on your screen. You order what you want. Now, for those of you who don't want to do it as a business, I didn't either when I first got into this. I simply signed up to get the discount. That's really all I wanted to do, and I'm not able to fully pursue this as a business right now. As y'all can tell, I don't always get videos uploaded every week. I'm not currently on Pinterest. I do have an account there, but I'm not putting my handiwork out there on Pinterest yet. I am not on Instagram. I do have a Facebook business page listed under Ray Henderson, and you can find me there. I always share my YouTube videos to the Ray Henderson Facebook page. And so if you miss me on YouTube and you're on Facebook one day, hop on over and give me a visit. Even better, give me a shout out, give me a comment, give me a like. It's all good. So you've only got until the 30th of November. And I will tell you, it doesn't tell you in the ad. In order to retain your status as a demonstrator, and they're generous with the time that they give you. In each quarter, you have to have at least $300 in sales. And let's say you don't quite make that, they will actually give you an extra month pending to kind of get that in there. And, a lot of you out there that are stamping, you have friends that are also into stamping and crafting and making cards and different paper crafts. And, by all means, see if they would like to order some of these items. Stampin' Up! Boggles my mind with all the things that they offer, with all the creativity that is going on behind the scenes with their artists, their illustrators, their designers. It's amazing to me. One day it would just be so awesome to get to go to Stampin' Up! Headquarters in Utah and kind of see a little bit behind the scenes of all that is going on. But let's say in 3 months' time, you've only ordered $250 worth of product. They do give you a little bit more time than that, okay? And, the final quarter for this year actually started in October. So let's say you sign up today and I would love to have you on my team. I really would. I would love to be there for you and help inspire you and do creations together. But let's say you signed up today and we're already well into the third quarter. Your first quarter would not end until you had been there a full 90 days. So how awesome is that? You would have almost 6 weeks extra in order to do that, okay? And let's say push comes to shove and you don't have your $300, even with the extra time added in, you simply revert back to being a regular customer. You're not penalized in any way. And if you wanted to turn right around the very next day and sign up again, you can certainly do so. They do not put a limit on that. All right, guys, I'm a little bit late getting this out. I actually knew about this earlier this week, but as I'm still working outside the home, I can't just turn on a dime and, get these videos done and uploaded and get the word out to you. So, from the 16th to the 18th of November, for 3 days, 16th, 17th, and 18th, there is their seasonal sale. Now, the seasonal sales they have had in the past have not been anywhere near this great, okay? They are giving you 10% off any cardstock you order, 15% off any ink pad that you order, and 20% off all the dies. There are no exclusions. There's not anything that has been left out. Let me kind of show you an example of just how much you can save. So, probably, and I didn't just go over this exhaustively, but I'm going to say that the Give It a Whirl dies are probably some of the most expensive. They are $39. At 20% off, it's only $31.20. Now, in their past seasonal sales, a lot of times you had to put in one order one day for cardstock, another order for ink pads, another order for dies, or whatever they were offering at that particular time. But, the shipping is so prohibitive, and especially now. So Stampin' Up! Realizes this, and they are giving you a chance during those 3 days. Pick whatever day you would like to put your order in. You can hop right on over to Ray's Coffee and Cards, Stampin'Up.net, and place your order. I would love to have you as a customer if you are not already my customer. But this is awesome, guys. We all need, at the very least, the basic white. 10% off. That's awesome. That would actually offset your shipping costs if you have a really small order. 15% off ink pads. Now, the bundles and third-party pads not included. Third-party would be, for example, the Memento ink, because that is made by another company. Stampin' Up! Sells it to us because it is such a great ink. But Memento ink is not made or manufactured exclusively for Stampin' Up! Like the other regular stamp pads are. So, and that would be true also of like the Stays-On ink that is also made by another company. But any ink pad that is made for Stampin' Up! Carries their logo, carries their brand, and their copyright, yes, it is 15% off and 20% off dies. And guys, I myself have already been going through both catalogs, the mini catalog and the regular catalog, to figure out what I am going to put in for my order. And honestly, it kind of took me by surprise too. Because I really was not expecting to put an order in right now until around the 1st of December. So it looks like I'll be putting in an order in November and December both. So, all right, so for today, I thought I would do a public video on making a Christmas shaker card. We, on October the 29th, we had a card session here locally. And for the members who were able to come, we actually did 2 different types of shaker cards. I actually know of 3 techniques of doing shaker cards. Just didn't have time to put in the 3rd one. So maybe we can address that in a future video. And I highlighted for the traditional shaker card that we will be making on this video, I use the frosted gingerbread. I am just so in love with this set. I love it. It appeals to the children. It appeals to the child and all of us adults. It's wonderful. The dies are wonderful. And I've probably showed you this before. And yes, you can tell my stamp set is already well loved. But you have your star. You not only have the outline die, but you also have the intricate die to do the overlay over it to resemble the icing on a gingerbread cookie. You have a snowflake. You have an ornament. You have a bell. There is some DSP that coordinates with this, and my poor little pack is so well loved and chopped up because I used on it hard and heavy making the card kits for our class. But there are peppermints and things that you can die cut. In fact, I've got just one of the kinds here already cut out. The dies line up perfectly. There are bells, ornaments, stars, and snowflakes in that DSP that the die cuts line up with. So it's versatile. It's awesome. I can see me using this for a long time to come, and especially with my grandchildren. I couldn't wait to get them some shaker cards and even a wobble card made, but that is for another day for us to talk about making wobble cards. But for today, I'm just showing you this little example here. Now, I will tell you, and I hate this, I did not get these shaker bits from Stampin' Up, but I came across these shaker bits made by another company online. I love these. Look at these. Look at that. And I thought that is perfect for the frosted gingerbread bundle. You have the actual little gingerbread and you have the little peppermints. Aren't they adorable? So I ordered a bunch of those, and we all used those in our class making project. And sending you peppermint kisses. You're the icing to my gingerbread. I mean, how perfect were they? So we are going to whoops, I missed a little gingerbread man. Some of these things I'm kind of having a hard time picking up. Thank goodness for my take your pick tool. And that little putty end, it has been invaluable to me. I've changed it up just a little bit. I changed the dimensions, and I've changed the kind of designer series paper that we're going to use today. It also comes out of that same pack, and this is the one that I want to use today. It's got the red and the green. Doesn't really show the gingerbread look as much as this DSP does, but I think it's going to come out really pretty. Now, as I did for the other card, I do have the cinnamon cider card base. It is scored at 4 1/4. It is 8.5 by 5.5. Traditional card base layer, nothing special there. On the other card, I had kind of cut my white layers to be a little bit bigger than the traditional. But for today, we are using the 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch. And I've already got my background piece stamped right here. Here's my background piece. And again, I elected to use the icing to my gingerbread. I used the layering oval dies, guys. If you don't have that set of dies, and you have a chance to get them for 20% off, you really need to take advantage of that. Let me just grab my set real quick and show you just what all is in there. Okay, I've hidden it somewhere here in my room. I covered it up with my advertisements. Okay, layering oval dies. There are 15 in the set. Look at this. You get the scalloped ovals in several different sizes, And you get the plain circles in several different sizes. These are so versatile and unique, and I cannot tell you how many times I have used these in my card making. They are wonderful. You can layer your sentiments with a different color to really make them pop off the page. In this first card, I used the largest, just plain circle die, and it looks good. For today, I thought I would change it up, and I actually used, I don't know if you can see it. Let me place it down here. I used the scalloped, the largest scalloped, and I didn't measure it to see just how big a diameter that cuts out, but let's see. So going from one side to the other, you are looking at about 2.5 by, let me see here, by about 3.5. That is awesome. That is huge. I can't imagine you needing one any larger than that for your card making. So let's go ahead and get started. I have cut this piece at 3 3/4 by 5, and then I die cut, and I just laid my die on there and I centered it up the best I could eyeball it. If it's not perfect, well, I did my best. And then my layers, as I mentioned before, are 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we have our card base. Now the window sheet that I cut for this, oops, there's my snowflake. The window sheet that I cut for this is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. If I turn this DSP over, you might be able to see that that is a pretty generous size for when we glue this down. I don't know if you can tell where my borders are here, but it comes all the way out to here on either side, and here on the bottom, and here on the top. So I've got a generous amount where I can glue this down, and in fact need to go ahead and get that done because it's going to take that just a second to set up. Now I've already pre-stamped everything so that you didn't have to sit and watch me do all that. So I've already got everything pre-stamped. And what I do suggest is that you put just a thin line of glue as close to the edge, because it is going to kind of flatten out a little bit on this window sheet. There is no right side or wrong side to the window sheet. It's the same. So let me try to get this on here. I've had some of my herbs and things today, and some of them kind of help give energy. No caffeine in them. They still kind of help to give energy, and I'm at a loss how to do this perfectly straight and true. Okay, and so I've got the back side here. Let me move this out of the way. I know me, I'll get glue all over it. And we're just going to lay this down. Just kind of position that. And then I'm just gently going to take my fingers over where that glue is. Looks like I may have glue. Oh, my fingernails are a disaster, guys. Sorry. Just overlook them the best you can. I hope it's not irritating. I've got a little bit of glitter on them today, but I have glitter on them not to be all flashy and all that, but because I can't seem to keep my manicures nice. And so the glitter goes a long way in covering up all the little dings and gouges, and it wears off the ends of my hands like none other, because I am so hands-on when I do anything, and I don't know how to use my fingertips instead of my fingernails. So yeah, I bet there's a lot of you like that too. So we're just kind of gluing that. That Tombow is really quick to get into that cardstock and hold that. You could use tape runner if you wanted to. I would, if you're gonna do that, cut your window sheet bigger, because your stuff is, your adhesive coming out of your tape runner is going to be a little wider than what I was dealing with that thin line of Tombow. So, you do you, and you use whatever it is you want to use. to glue that down with. Either way, there's no right or wrong. But I use a Tombow because it just gave me that narrow little border of glue. Okay, so now we've got our window sheet in here. And before we can attach it to our front layer that's going to be on the front of the card, there's a couple of things we need to do. So, Stampin' Up! Sells these awesome adhesive strips. And they are not sticky on the side. Nothing will stick to them. They are sticky on the bottom when you peel that off. And then there is a layer here. Once you have got everything the way you want it, there is a layer here that will peel off. And then it is sticky on both sides. Okay. So we need to get this set up. We need to prepare our base for the shaker bits. And I generally just take a whole piece to start with. And it doesn't have to be like right on top of that circle. In fact, it's probably better if you come back just a little bit. Because when you're getting your card put together, you want to make sure that your recipient, when they get their card to enjoy it, they're not going to see some of that adhesive strip showing through the window sheet as they're looking at the card. It's a little bit easier to apply these strips if you take off the top part. This top part gives it a little bit of stiffness, and it might, you may just have to work with it a little bit more, but that's okay, because leave that top strip on. You can't help but handle this while you're trying to put this together. And the more you handle it, the more sticky you remove. And that could be a disaster in the making. We're not dealing with like fine glitter and things like that today. So if there is just a little bit of offset from where you start and stop, that's okay. Let me get my little snips here so I can try to judge how to cut this to fit. But you do want it to be pretty close. I mean, I don't know if you can see it right there where I start and where I stopped with that other piece. Now, so we have our perimeter done so that our shaker bits will stay in here. All right, I am getting really stuck to my work. But we also need to support all the rest of this. You don't want to try to glue this down and the rest of it be bendy and flimsy, okay? So we're going to continue on with these little strips, and you can watch how I do it, and then when you get ready to do yours, you add as much as you want to. I tend to be very generous with how much I put down, because I want to know it is good and stable and it's not going to go anywhere. Now what I've got to do is get it the right side down. There we go. So I generally will take and go all the way around the borders. And this is just like a lot of their other adhesives. The longer it sits in contact with the cardstock, the stronger a bond it will be. So if you find you need to move something, I would move it like within the first few seconds of realizing that you need to get that repositioned, because the longer it is in contact, the harder it's going to be to try to take that up. So it's going to stick just fine to this window sheet that we have here. Not a problem. Let me get another strip. We got a little bit more to do here. When you order the adhesive strips, if you have never used them, they're awesome. So a brand new package has 2 full sheets of the foam adhesive strips, and you get 40 in each package. And guys, I don't do shaker cards a lot. It's just not something go-to. But if someone's special, or you have a grandchild, or maybe a good friend who's having a birthday and you kind of want to step up your card, this is a really easy way to do it. Takes a little bit more time than a regular card, but that's okay. It's still easy to do. And I'm just kind of looking here. I still have one more corner I want to add some to. And, you know, when you're doing this and you're wanting to make sure it's all supported, if you want to add more in there, that's fine. In fact, I'm going to take a little piece right here, and I'm going to add it right down here to give that corner a little bit more stability. And I'm going to take a little strip, put that there, right next to that one. And let's see, I'm going to take a small strip and add it right here. Sometimes you can't help. It's so easy to get that top piece off that they, just like here, you know, it's already wanting to release. That's okay. Just work around it the best you can. I seem to have quite a little gap in there, so I'm going to add another piece right in here. And then I'm just going to kind of look and see if I feel like I think I need a little piece over here for this corner. It doesn't have to be solid. You just want that good support. And you can see how close my border piece and my perimeter piece are here to everything. And I think just for ha-has, because I've got quite a little gap right there, so I'm going to cut another little one and stick that on there. There we go. Okay. At this point, I would mash everything down really well. You can use a bone folder. You can just use your hands. Just kind of give every little bit of it a good press. Make sure it is down really well. Good contact, no air bubbles, nothing that would keep it from having a good adhesion. Okay, then see what we've done. This has not been hard. It's taken maybe just a little bit more time, but it's not hard. Okay, before I remove all the covering from that, I want to take my piece that is going to show through the background. I've already stamped. You're the icing to my gingerbread. And hey guys, you can use this DSP and you could totally do a different stamp set and different sentiments. Shaker cards are so versatile. You can do birthday cards and all kinds of cards. Probably the only thing I could think of that you might not want to do a shaker card for would be maybe a sympathy card. If there's a way to do a shaker card as a sympathy card, I haven't figured that out yet. So, all right, we are just about ready to take this off, and that thing is really bugging me, so I'm taking it off now. All right, you are going to want to apply your shaker bits, whether it's glitter, little snowflakes, whatever you have, you want to add those right there in the middle. Sometimes it's hard to figure out, you know, how much is enough. And I kind of feel like that's probably enough. As you do shaker cards, you're going to make a shaker card the first time or two. Maybe it didn't have enough. Maybe it had too much. But, you know, that's how we all learn, right? There's no real formula because shaker bits can vary in size and weight. And it's just kind of hard to know, okay, well, you know, how much do I really want? So, I actually made one of these and really did not, I mean, I had barely put any shaker bits in there. I don't know what I was thinking that day. It's real skimpy. Now, a young child is not going to know the difference, and so I may still be able to give that to a young child, but an older child or an adult would definitely be disappointed in that card. So, Right now I am going around and just trying to make sure I have all of my adhesive exposed. Okay. And probably what I could have done is I could have put little black permanent marker dots on these strips. And then I would know which ones I had taken off and which ones I had not. Well, we're getting there. We're almost there, guys. I think I have these last two left. Well, there we go. Sometimes getting a hold of them, I am not the best at. And, oh, we have two more of the border strips. Can't forget those for sure. Let's get those off. So yesterday was Veterans Day, and I was very happy to see how many people really cared still about Veterans Day. And we're posting on Facebook, and a lot of us had family members that were in the military, and a lot of us know people right now in the military currently. And so it was just awesome. It was very heartwarming. The last few days have just really been kind of difficult for me. Yesterday was probably the hardest day of all because we had to put our cat Skeeter down. So to all those of you that have been through that or maybe fixing to go through that, my prayers are with you. My heart goes out to you. There was just nothing easy about that at all. So, all right, we are going to try to put this down and leave even borders, and without getting my head in the camera, trying to make sure I'm straight. I think I have a little bit more border on one side than the other, but I'm going to go with it because I don't want to tear my cardstock. And I'm going to give it a good burnish just with my hands over all of that support. And this, I wish you could feel this. It's very firm. It's very much supported all the way around. I made 2 private shaker videos before the class because I had a couple of people that were out of state. And even some local people that they also had to work, and so they couldn't come to the class. So I shipped a couple of kits out of state and delivered one here locally. And I made 2 private shaker videos, and they were a hoot because I made so many mistakes. It was hilarious. But you're actually getting the better end of the deal here. All right, and so I think maybe my shaker bit amount was about right. Again, sometimes that can be kind of hard to kind of know. And if anything, I would err on the side of caution when it comes to putting your shaker bits in there. Now, you'll notice I stamped my sentiment kind of up toward the top, and I did that because if they decide to display the card and stand it up, and I got a couple of them that are stuck together. They're not glued, they're just, there we go. Put your sentiment up toward the top, because if they decide to display their card and stand it up, all the shaker bits will be in the bottom. And if you've got your sentiment down toward the middle or even toward the bottom, it will cover that up, which is, you know, it's not a game changer, but it's nicer if they can see that too. Now, I also die cut out of the DSP one of the snowflakes that also had the red and green in it, since my DSP also had red and green, and yet I needed some red and green that would not clash with the DSP and could actually be kind of set apart and noticeable, because this card just needs a little something something. So if you do that, just kind of figure out where you want your snowflake or your bell or your ornament or your star, whatever, you know, you have cut out. Kind of figure out where you're going to want to glue that, and then be mindful of where you're putting your glue. I did a number on my glue bottle yesterday, and I haven't cleaned it yet. So Skeeter was never one to like to ride in vehicles, and I know the last time we had taken her to the vet, and to get her checked out, you know, I had her wrapped up in a towel. She was not a traveler, so we didn't have a pet cage or anything for her, which was fine. I didn't feel the need to buy one. All right, so here we go. I could have done a little bit better maybe and moved that over a little bit more, but they will see the message. You're the icing to my gingerbread. And now at this point, let me, so one of my, oh my heavens, guess what I just did? So one of my strips stuck to my card base. Okay, if that ever happens to you, let me show you what you can do. Simply take your card base, flip it over. Okay, let me get my bone folder here and re-score that. Get that good and flat. And then I know I've got this inside layer to put in. In fact, I'll go ahead and put it in now. There's always something you can do to cover up a boo-boo, a mistake, so that your card is not totally lost, okay? And even though my card that I just made for you and with you could have used some improving, it's all right. It is okay. We are human and we make mistakes and we make boo-boos, and none of us is perfect. And so there is always a way to cover it up. All right. I put a strip of that DSP since I had to cut it down. The DSP is 6x6, and I thought it would be kind of neat just to kind of carry that over into it. And then on the back of my envelope, this long stamp is also in that stamp set. Isn't that pretty? And there is a die that will cut that out. I could have die cut it and then glued it down, but I thought, well, that kind of dressed up the envelope a little bit. That is something I'm not real good at showing on screen. There are a lot of ways to decorate an envelope, and in future videos, we will get into that. All right, so I've got that burnished pretty well. I'm going to take this. Yep, can you tell? I stamped it way too high, and I stamped it over to the side. So, yeah, your cardstock's got two sides. Stampin' Up's cardstock is nice and thick and generous, and you can get away with flipping it over and nobody will ever know that you had to do that. Alright, so I think that's plenty of glue. We're going to get this laid down here and trying to match this up. But anyway, what I was saying about Skeeter, so I did the same thing yesterday. I actually bought a brand new towel for that day because I didn't want it back. I didn't want to use one of my good towels. And I bought her a good towel. Like, it was thick, it was beautiful. And so I laid the towel out and I glued 2 puppy pads to it with the Tombow, which is why my bottle looks so crusty right now, and wrapped her up in that in case she peed. And that's how we transported her. And because Tombow is water-based, you know, we let them know at the vet's office they could keep the towel. The glue holding the puppy pads down was water-based. It would wash out. And so they got a brand new towel. But anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this. I don't know if you've liked this, if you enjoyed this. Let me find. Now, I did go ahead just in wondering, and I cut out some of those mints. I got something sticky on my finger. And I cut out 3 of them to see. I thought maybe I would want to put them around the card. And I'm thinking that, yes, I probably will do that. Okay. But, yeah, it's been hard. It's been tough. My mind has been preoccupied. So I apologize for not getting a video up last weekend. We knew that it was time. The first thing the vet did was to take and weigh her, and when he said she weighed 6 pounds, my jaw dropped. She was a hefty cat. she wasn't fat, but she was healthy, and I think she had a whole lot more fur than what she did actual body underneath all that fur. I mean, she was well endowed. She was fluffy and soft and just really pretty. So when he said she had lost 6 pounds, I just couldn't believe it. We knew she had lost weight, just didn't know she had lost that much weight, because from last year when we took her in, I think she weighed 10 then, and we kind of felt like then she was losing some weight. But anyway, she just was not having good quality of life anymore, and so that's, you know, it was a kindness to her. And, you know, it's just one of those things. So many of us have dealt with that, right? And if you have, my heart goes out to you if I didn't know about it. Onward and upward, guys. I've got some butternut squash in the oven. It is well after 2 o'clock. I think it was about 2 o'clock when I started this video. And by now, my butternut squash should be just about done. And I'm starving. But anyway, guys, God bless you. Don't forget about that seasonal sale. I want to remind you one more time. The other thing I failed to mention, if you sign up to be a demonstrator, let's say you want to sign up today and be a demonstrator, guess what? You'll get your demonstrator discount on top of the seasonal sale discount. How amazing is that? So instead of getting 20% off your dies, you would get 40% off of your dies. You would get your demonstrator discount and the 20% off that they are giving to all customers. That's a win-win, guys. You would get a total of 35% off of your ink pads. You would get 30% off. No, 30% off. Do I not know how to add? 25% off your ink pads and 20% off your cardstock. That's amazing. Utterly amazing. And you know you've got to pay shipping anyway, right? You will not pay shipping on your starter kit. You can put anything in there that you want, and then you can turn right around next week from the 16th through the 18th, whatever day you pick, and you can put in an order as a demonstrator and get extra discounts on all of this. So that's a win-win-win. Thanks, guys, for being with me. Thank you for being patient, and thank you for being here. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.